Hey, what do you say? It's the Run In podcast. We're on the Pedro Martinez episode, number 45 of the Run In podcast. He played for the Dodgers, right? Like for a minute?
That's who drafted him.
No, he got drafted by the Expos, I thought. I think his brother played for the...
They were on the Dodgers together at a point, and then for whatever reason we traded, and then we traded him for freaking Delano DeShields.
Oh, yep. That's all coming. That's all sounded familiar. I actually in my mind when I said that, I was thinking he played for the Dodgers after he played for the Red Sox. But yeah, you're right. He was originally signed by the Dodgers as an amateur free agent in 1988.
His first season in the minors on the pitching rotation.
Yeah, Red Sox had his brother too for a little while. It was weird. Anyway, enough baseball talk. Episode number 45 here of the Run In podcast. My name's Tommy Paradise,
and it's your boy DJ. It's showtime, folks, and yeah, we actually talk more about wrestling than we do baseball. If you're
sometimes,
if you're just tuning in, we're not going to talk baseball for 2 hours.
We are going to talk about Wrestlemania, of course. In the past, now we did our Wrestlemania reaction show live in the Fig Cave group on Facebook, thefigcave.com. Make sure you join that so you can jump in on our reaction show next time. But we will talk a lot about Wrestlemania, the fallout from Wrestlemania, what's been going down on AEW and NXT. All the releases that were announced today, we'll definitely get into those. And for all you people who don't have a real job and live in your parents' basement, we'll talk about you guys too. But let's get into some housekeeping stuff. Make sure you're following us on social media. On Instagram, we are at my paper is stuck together. We are at the Run In Pod on Instagram, and on Twitter, we are at Run In Podcast. I got to be honest with you. I've been slacking on our social media posts this week. I just been not burnt out, just a lot going on, real life stuff going on. So I just been slacking on the Instagram post. So I apologize. I'll be back in action soon, though.
Same with me. I've had a busy damn week this week.
Yeah, it's been unbelievable, man. Kids on vacation this week, so I took days off, and then I'm like, man, I'm running around more while he's on vacation than I was if he was at school. So
isn't that crazy?
It is. I'm like, I need a nap every day, man. From going around. We went to Dave and Buster's today, and man, right. Dave and Buster's, it's the food sucks at Dave and Buster's.
It does. I agree with that.
The games are super expensive, but he had a blast. Whatever. It is what it is.
I like how they put it in points, so you can't really do the math in your head.
Exactly. I thought it was $29, I think, for 170 points, and then they give you some bullshit $3 fee on top of that, but they throw in extra points because of that $3 fee. So it's like shipping, man. Just give me the straight up price. Give me the straight up price.
Right.
And then don't tell me there's a fee into it. But anyway, this episode is brought to you by Figure Collections. Make sure you check out our friend Jack over at figurecollections.com. He is an exclusive reseller of the Cella Toys Retros. Mm-hmm. And we got some news about them coming up a little bit later on when we walk that toy aisle. He also is going to have the Dynamite Kid, he told me earlier today. So be on the lookout for that. And there's going to be a little discount code for the Run In podcast listeners. So if you haven't grabbed Dynamite Kid yet, make sure you stay tuned because we're going to be, I've been working with Jack a lot, actually, on a lot of different stuff. So, and he's got all kinds of good stuff on his eBay store. You can go to figurecollections.com/store. There is a Pro Wrestling Tees sale right now over at prowrestlingtees.com/runinpod. 20% off. It goes until 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, which Sunday is what's the date? Today is we're recording. The show comes out on the 16th, so the 17th. You have until the 17th. I got to grab the Celtics. The Beantown style shirt. Sorry, the 18th. You're right. The Beantown style shirt. I got to grab the Lake Show style shirt. I want to be wearing those at the Blitzkrieg show. Not both of them. One of them at the Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling show. Yeah. The Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling show that we're doing here in Enfield, Connecticut. We're sponsoring that, an indie show live and in person. I cannot wait. Brian Myers is going to be there. VSK from AEW Dark. All kinds of guys going to be there. It's going to be a great freaking show. Tickets are sold out. So the only way you can go is if you got a ticket. But if you're in the Connecticut area, stay tuned because they may open up with everything kind of opening up a little bit here. They may add more seats. So we'll see what happens with all of that. Of course, YouTube, hit us up on YouTube. It's youtube.com/The Run-In Podcast. Our episodes are up there in video form. We got interviews up there. I just bought a little handy dandy, brand new tripod thing. They call it a stabilizer.
Okay.
So I'm actually looking forward to doing some vlogs with it and stuff like that. Me and Kenny from Kenny's Corrections, we're talking today. And me and him may be doing a little meetup to go visit Buy, Sell, Trade Toys in the next...
that showroom he's got going is...
Yeah, it's going to be good stuff. So in the next couple of weeks, then me and him should be hitting that up to meet up with him. And I kind of want to do a vlog when I go down to see him. So stay tuned for that. Man, we got some Kenny's Corrections here.
So we can flip that no corrections thing. We can flip it back to 0.
The sign, yeah,
yeah.
And so Kenny's just trying to stay employed. I think here now with the No Impact Minute, and now we didn't have corrections for a long time. But he said Walter finally defends his title. This is from last week's episode, so he's correcting us on last week's show. Walter finally defends his title when he took on Ciampa, but he's defended it 9 times before. Takeover, the last one, was a kid. I understand he's defended the title. When I said he's only defended it a handful of times, though, is what I'm saying. And they try to make it like he's been the longest reigning champion of all time, but he hasn't fought anybody. He's like Dean Ambrose of the U.S. title. That was my point with that. Anyway, no women's battle royal. We found that out. They replaced it with the tag team turmoil match at WrestleMania. And then he said when it comes to Ciampa staying in NXT, he said before in interviews that he doesn't want to move up because he likes the schedule with NXT. It has him home more. And then one last thing, AOP is not Spanish. They are Kosovo Albanians. One of them are from Kosovo. And then one last thing, I got this from Kenny and a couple other people that we were talking about the Rey Mysterio Silver Surfer figure.
Yes,
this must have been during my not blackout period, but where I wasn't watching wrestling, where I went dark watching wrestling because he spray painted his body in silver, and the Major Brothers actually talked about it this week, and he got in some big doo-doo with WWE for doing that. That was they had a meeting because of it, saying you can't cut your hair, you can't get tattoos unless we approve them, you can't spray paint your body. If you think about it, it gets all over the ring, you don't, and if they don't know,
was probably kind of messy. Yeah,
exactly. So
that's probably why we don't see the demon that much.
Well, I think face paint is different than spray paint. He actually,
I know the spray paint had to be like that. Yeah.
Yep. So those are our corrections, man. We did the 30 shirts till Mania. You did the 30 figs. We talked about Munch Madness last week. We gave away Retromania. I'll actually talk about Retromania here in a little bit later on, but I think that's all the housekeeping stuff, man. I'll jump the gun here on weekly purchases here. One of my weekly purchases wasn't really a purchase. It was my first COVID vaccine shot. Hallelujah. Feel pretty good about that. So I'll be getting my next one at April 29th, just in time for that Blitzkrieg show in Enfield, Connecticut here. I'll be fully vaccinated for that. So if you get the chance, guys,
go licking doorknobs right after that.
I don't think I'll be doing that. What's wild is not to beat a dead horse here with COVID and everything, but think about some of the stuff that we did before COVID, and now we're I'm not going to do that. Blowing on birthday candles,
right?
And stuff like that. That just sounds gross now.
Oh, man.
There's times where I'll watch a movie or a show or something, and all the people are together without masks on, and I'm like, what are they doing? That's weird. It's weird to me. So
watching concerts where we're doing mosh pits and stuff, and
yeah, exactly. What you drinking tonight, man? You got the Vigilante drip flowing?
I got some drip, and and I'm gonna keep these the bubbly boosts. These are, I'm a fan. They got me.
I still haven't seen them. I haven't really looked hard for them, but with this, I think I mentioned last week I started doing Noom, so I'm trying to drink less soda and less sugary stuff. So I've been on a big seltzer kick. I have 3 seltzers here ready to go, but I also got, of course, the Bang. I just finished up with some trivia, so I need the Bang to get me through the podcast. I need so I'm not falling asleep here while we're recording. But even though I just told DJ that I was talking to my wife a little bit a while ago, and I was like, man, I want to fall asleep. She's like, nope, go get out of here. Go get. So, all right, man, you ready to get it? Yeah, you ready to get in the ring here?
Let's get in the ring.
All right, lots to talk about this week, and get in the ring is brought to you by Buy Sell Trade Toys. We mentioned them earlier in the show. Check out Buy Sell Trade Toys on Instagram. Use that code RUN10 for 10% off. Let's pull up his Instagram here real quick. I know he did a little bit of a WrestleMania sale. Actually, I dropped the ball.
I was just looking at his showroom just before we came on, and yeah, no, if you're in the area, you need to.
Yep, he's got retros. he's got some vintage T-shirts on there. He's got a DX and a Stone Cold crew neck sweatshirt. Anyway, he's got some Jack's classics on there. All kinds of good stuff. Check him out at buyselltradetoys.com. And if you're buying anything from him, whether you're buying it on his website or through Instagram, you can use the code through Instagram too. Just message it to him. It's RUN10. All right, man. WrestleMania was this week. We talked about it on our reaction show, as we mentioned. Overall, before we get like totally into everything and break it all down, I thought WrestleMania was a success. It was a lot of wrestling for the whole week. Right. And I'm pretty sure I said this in the reaction show where I didn't feel the burnout, maybe at the end a little bit, but I wasn't like, oh man, I have to go watch this, or I have to do this for the podcast, or like sometimes I feel that way with the weekly shows. Is like, I don't really want to watch, or read what happened on SmackDown this week, but I need to, because we have a show every week where we talk about it. So considering how much freaking wrestling was on last week, I think WWE did a really good job with not making it mundane and just like a chore to watch. It was a pleasure. I would say I enjoyed 93.7% of WrestleMania over the two shows.
Pretty good number. That's a pretty good number.
It might even be higher, to be honest with you. It might even be higher.
I'm going to agree with you. I like the pacing that they had. I mean, they put it this way. They could have totally like on Thursday night given us a 3-hour takeover. Then 2 hours on SmackDown.
Yep.
Which we can get into it, but SmackDown was basically the warm up show for WrestleMania. Like it was before, it
was essentially the pre-show, because there was no pre-show matches both nights. So it was essentially the Battle Royal was on there.
The Giant, yeah.
Yep.
Which I think I still think it was a mistake not to have the women's Battle Royal.
I agree with you 100%. I was going to bring that up, to be honest with you. Huge mistake to not bring up, to not have the women's Battle Royal, especially with the amount of women that they have right now. Obviously, a few were let go today, but like they have enough talent to do that. So
yes,
a little strange that they didn't do that, especially with how much they push, the women's revolution and the women's, this and that. So, it's interesting that they didn't have the women's Battle Royal, but
I mean, it might have. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it might have cost, like, say, Peyton Royce a spot. If you think about it. Yep,
you're right. Absolutely, 100%.
Because I kind of think, I know we're going to talk about it more, but I kind of like, because Billie Kay and Peyton are such great, like they're so close. I almost feel like I think Billie might have asked for her release after she heard about that Peyton was going to get released. Because she was like, it's just like, it's blowing my mind. Like she was just on the WrestleMania card. Billie Kay. So, so to release somebody right after they were just on the big stage is kind of like, so.
Yeah, but that's happened before though. Like, I'm trying to think of some of the other releases like from last year and stuff, but that's had to have happened before. I mean, Samoa Joe was on the show. He was on, I mean, I know he's there as an announcer, and he got released, but we'll we'll talk more about that in a little bit.
We'll circle back.
Yeah, exactly. So let's get into it. The night kicked off with night one kicked off with Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. A lot of people say it. Yes, you did call it. A lot of people were bitching and complaining that this was the first match. And that this match wasn't very good. Like a lot of stuff I saw on the internet was like the first matches on both night were sucked. They were terrible. Man, internet wrestling community. Man. Like, but dude, like, what did you want from this match? I think it gave. The only thing I wasn't crazy about is that Drew McIntyre didn't win because I've been predicting Drew McIntyre is going to win the belt back in front of people for you know, how long? 3 months? You know, since Royal Rumble or whatever.
And he gets, and he gets duped by MVP yelling out his name. Like, I didn't agree with the ending. Like, I thought if McIntyre is going to lose, it should be like something egregious. Like, like when Bobby the Brain Heenan held down the Ultimate Warrior's legs while Rick Rude was pinning him, like that kind of a finish if he was going to lose.
Yeah, I mean they kind of did that with the when he put him in the Hurt Lock and he passed out and the ref was forced to call the match. True. I have here's how I said 93.7% or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one thing I'll complain about. Drew McIntyre, they did this in another match too. I want to say it was like the women's tag match. Somebody taps out, or not taps out, but passes out from being in a submission hold. And then immediately, as soon as that person lets it go, they're awake and they're staring at the person walking down the aisle. And they're like, what the hell? Like, that's not how that works.
Not at all.
How that works.
Not at all. I get that. Yeah, I was with you. I thought Drew was going to win this thing as well. But I did, like, for the folks that were saying, why is this the first match? Listen to our last episode. I totally laid this out. Like, this is the first time in front of people. You have Drew McIntyre, who I feel like was owed that pop of his music hitting and the people popping. Like he was owed that. Mm-hmm. And this is this was the first time a wrestler was going to come out in front of a live WWE audience.
Right.
That's why we had that match first. It was what Drew McIntyre was owed.
Right. Absolutely. And it was a great match. Like I don't understand the criticism, to be honest with you.
Power guys. They're not going to do, they're not going to be doing flips over the top rope. And this is two power guys knocking each other around. That's what
even Bleacher Report gave it an A-.
Because, they're not Dave Metzler. That's why they gave it an A.
Match number 2 was a match where you could go take a poop or, man, this match here. No, on Sunday night.
Shower, right?
I went and took a shower. Yeah. Sunday night it was Saturday night. It's the women's tag team championship #1 contenders match. Riot Squad, Carmella and Billie Kay, R.I.P. Lana and Naomi, and this is where Mandy Rose took that spill. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, and then Tamina and Natty. Oh man, kudos by the way to Mandy Rose for playing the playing up to that fall. Like poor Mandy Rose, but like she's just like I saw her tweet the next day. It just said like my butt hurts. Like she was embarrassed as hell, but she owned it. You know what I mean? Like just like Titus did with when he fell and slid under the freaking ring. Yeah, this was weird. Like I felt like the Riot Squad was terrible in the beginning of this, but then they got better as it went on. Billie Kay, I think you said it in the group chat. Billie Kay, a little bit Mizdow like a little bit like very reminiscent of Mizdow, and then the rest was just like whatever. Natty and I said this on a reaction show. I know I said this for a fact is. They're trying to play up the fact that Natty and Tamina don't want to live in their dad's shadows, but then they go and hit a heart attack on I forget whoever they hit it on, and then Tamina jumps off the top rope doing the Superfly splash. Like you don't want to live in your dad's shadows, but here you are doing their finishing moves. You got to pick one. You can't be at play on both sides of the fence here. You got to pick one. Also, let me just say, you can at me whatever. Tamina needs her old gear back. She looks like a pot roast with the string still tied around it in whatever she's wearing at this point. So
no. That's at Tommy Paradise.
whatever, man. Whatever. I'm just spitting it like it is. I didn't say anything about Ruby Riott looking like Sam the Eagle, though.
You didn't. But I thought the Riot Squad, and this is something we talked about on Saturday night, that they're the accomplished tag team. Like I think that they should have gotten this spot. To win this match and get the title match.
Yes, especially since they're the only actual tag team in WWE at the moment. Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, obviously, they're making them into that. We'll see what happens with Natalya and Tamina.
Yeah.
I mean, they're trying to make Lana and Naomi a tag team, but obviously Billie Kay is not around anymore, so who knows? Who knows? It was a terrible match. We already spent way too much time talking about it, but. Maybe the match of the night. Maybe the match of the night. Cesaro and Seth Rollins, man. I've said it again, or I've said it before. Cesaro, man, one of my favorites. Like just like a quiet favorite. Like I'm never searching out his matches or anything like that. But if he's got a match on something that I'm watching, like I can never say I'm excited for a Cesaro match. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, Jesus, he's so good. He is so good. I'm so glad he got his WrestleMania moment here with a win over Seth.
Yes, and like this is gonna be a drum I'm gonna beat like until
a Nigerian drum,
maybe. But anywho, start if you want Cesaro to get a push at this point. Start buying some merch. Yeah, like I'm really serious about this. Like if you want this push. Like, so he got a great, like, as he always does, like the crowd was totally behind him. So I'm sure that got noticed, but at the same time, like it's gotta be, he makes money, like, to get a push in this company. And I think we all know this. Go buy some Cesaro merch. Do it. Like if you want to see him climb the ladder here.
Yeah, absolutely. Great match. Like not like a ton of spot. It wasn't a spot fest, but it was like there was enough moments where you were like, whoa.
Right.
One of the ones that caught me was when he did not the swing, but the where he put Seth on his shoulder and then he just started spinning around with him on there, and he wasn't holding him. I'm like, how? I think I said it to you guys, like, how the fuck is he doing that?
Right.
It's unbelievable.
Right. He looked like a drum major in front of a band with a human being. Like that's what it looked like. I have no, like the centrifugal force, like the way he has, the centrifugal force going and knows how to spin around like that. How he's, he knows how to even spin around without making himself dizzy. That's not like, not everybody can do that. Right. So, the man he's a main eventer. Like that, there's no question. He's a main eventer that we, either in Dallas or Inglewood, I think we need to see him in some kind of a main event.
Wow, main event. All right. I'll be here for that. Like I said, like it's like guys like Daniel Bryan, Cesaro, like give them a push to see what happens. Like give him a title, see what happens, see how people react. I mean, even Drew McIntyre to an extent, like 10 years ago, nobody thought Drew McIntyre would be where he is right now. Give him the chance to do what he's got to do or wants to do. Then we get to see New Day and any other comment thoughts on Cesaro or the Seth Rollins match?
Nope, we can get to the tag team championship.
I'll just move it fast because I know we got a lot to
it's a big episode here
to unpack here. Yeah, we got New Day and AJ and almost decent match here. Freaking love the New Day, man. Like you'd think like with how long they've been around and everything, like you'd be getting sick of them. You'd be getting sick of the same old shtick. But they deliver every time, every promo they deliver, every match they deliver. I loved Xavier like putting them in the corner and be like, we're a tag team. This is what you do. We're cutting the ring in half. I loved that whole thing where he's like talking up to AJ while they're doing it. And Amos, man, is just freaking huge.
That's a big man. That's a really big man.
I mean, this match wasn't anything special. I think it was good. Obviously, almost an AJ getting the win.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was a good, decent match for WrestleMania. What about you, man? What'd you think?
I definitely think this was to get AJ the Grand Slam here.
Grand Slam, yep.
And also to introduce us to Omos, which was a good introduction. Like, I gotta admit, like, he's definitely better than the other like 7+ footers that we have seen. Like his feet work is way better than, you know, Kali and, you know, all the other giants. I did like the phenomenal forearm off his shoulders.
I thought that was cool, actually. That's like the perfect tag team move for them.
Because he's taller than the top rope. So yeah.
Right.
So you gotta say, okay, this is a bigger forearm then, because he's coming from a higher place.
Yep.
And he was throwing people around like like that's what his character should be doing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, even though I thought the New Day were gonna pull it out, but I still was like, for what it's worth, like what this match was worth, I thought it was a fun match.
Yeah, for sure. And then this next match was a sleeper. I literally fell asleep during this match. It is the Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman match. I would be okay with Shane McMahon never having another match again. I have nothing. I like vintage Shane O'Mac, like, you know, Attitude Era Shane O'Mac, but like now I'm just like, I don't need to see him at every WrestleMania. He doesn't need to be at every WrestleMania. Like, there's no need for it. This match was exactly what we thought it was going to be, I think, where Strowman is just dominating and, you know, rips the door off the cage and stuff like that. Like, I ended up passing out in the middle of this match and woke up after it. It was random as heck, but this match, well, wasn't excited for it. I didn't really care. I just kind of nothing it. I didn't care about it. It was just there for me.
Yeah, it was definitely, you could tell this is a match to get Braun Strowman something to do at this WrestleMania. And I'm with you. Like, I just, like, somebody could have had this spot, like, instead of Shane, you know?
Yep.
And somebody could have done the exact same things that he did, you know, like, you know, so, I mean, you could have had Elias be in this match, you know? So, 100%. You know, instead of him being a flunky, you know, so, yeah, I mean, we just basically were waiting for the big bump at the end, like, is basically what we were watching this match for. And we got it. Like, we got the payoff with watching Shane take the big bump again at WrestleMania. Who knows how long he's going to be able to keep doing this. That's
true too. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, every year you're taking a 20-foot bump. I don't know. But yeah, it was, you know, I definitely was able to get up and, you know, make dinner. And wait for the next match.
And the next match was Miz and John Morrison versus Damian Priest and Bad Bunny. This match, better than I expected, man. We mentioned this before that Bad Bunny looked great. He did the work. Yes. You know, he looked like he knew what he was doing in there. I'm sure, you know, obviously, I'm sure Miz and Morrison are helping him out a little bit.
Sure.
But I definitely this was way better than I ever anticipated it being.
We got it. Like, so again, big ups. Like, I mean, you could tell, like, Bad Bunny's got some cardio.
Yeah.
Because he was in the match for, I would say a good like 90% of the match. He was in it.
Yep.
We got we had a very cool move on the outside of the ring there.
Mm-hmm.
The guy was going off, like, he was just going crazy. And how about the entrance?
Yeah. Yep.
Man was on a truck and with his music blasting. I was like, okay, you know, I'm gonna get, like, when that WrestleMania clearance sale comes around, I'm gonna get me a Bad Bunny shirt.
Yeah. I like that you're waiting until the clearance sale. I love it. I love the clearance section.
Gonna happen. You know what's gonna happen.
Oh man, I love the clearance section at WWE Shop. I also love like when they do like $5 Fridays.
Right.
They used to do it was like I grabbed like pint glasses from there, koozies, like all kinds of like just bullshit stuff that I would never buy otherwise.
$20.
Exactly. I love that section, man. I love it. I'm actually trying to find it right now, and I don't see like the clearance section. It's like new arrival, brands, gifts, apparel, title belt, superstars. There's no like sale.
I think you got to wait for them to email you that it's there. But excellent for this, like you said, for a celebrity match, though. Excellent match.
Yep.
Excellent match. We got like for people that don't watch NXT, you got to see Damian Priest, who's now looks like he's pretty permanent on the main roster.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what happens. You know, I know there's some people still warming up to him, but I think he'll be okay.
I can take or leave him. Like I'm not like he's great, but I'm also not like he's the worst and doesn't need to be out there. I don't think
he sucks. Yeah.
Nah, yeah. It's just he's another guy. I know I use that phrase a lot, but it's just kind of nothing him. So, all right. The last match of night number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Such a good match. Let's also put this in context. Women's main event, 2 African-American women main eventing WrestleMania on night 1. That's a huge deal. I don't care who you are, what your beliefs are, whatever. That is a huge freaking deal, man. And kudos to Bianca Belair and Sasha for they did it and they killed it. They killed it.
Just to give some perspective here, like so I had my 16-year-old daughter. I had her for the weekend. She was totally into this match. Like she didn't, 16-year-old that did not touch her phone for the entire match.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
And then, woman, the lady I'm dating now, I got her into wrestling, by the way. Like she watched the entire weekend of wrestling. I'm kind of impressed with myself. But anyway, again, she was the same. Like she was she was the most emotionally involved in this match. And like you said, and they delivered even for 2, like I'm gonna just call them novice wrestling fans, had them in the palm of their hands.
Mm-hmm. Then it delivered. There was great spots. The spot where Bianca carries Sasha. The spot, there was just so much. The hair whip. Oh my god, that hair whip
sound.
Yeah.
I want to I'd like to know, maybe a documentary down the line here. Did they have like some kind of sound to the PA, or was that just? I'd like to know how they got that sound,
because one of those microphones like they have on the side for like the NFL. Like the NFL has like those. They look like big circle. They look like satellite dishes almost. They have circles, and they're like microphones that pick up the sideline sounds. I think that would be cool. Or if they. Or what? I'm wondering if they have that.
You heard it like throughout the stadium, like and I've seen her use the hair whip before. Like anybody that's watched her has, and you didn't hear it like that. Like it was like a thunderclap, So I'd like to know somewhere down, like whenever they want to tell us, I'd like to know how they got that sound.
Yeah, it was great. So I think night 1, we'll get into night 2 here in just a second, but I think overall night 1 was the night. It was the better night, I think, of the 2. I found myself more engaged with night 1. Mm-hmm. Night 2 was like kind of like you said, man, I was grabbing my phone, I was doing this, I was doing that. Not that I didn't enjoy it, not that it wasn't a great show. I just think night 1 pulled my attention away more than night 2.
I think in my opinion, I think there might have been a little bit of fatigue for everybody.
That's true. It's a little subconscious wrestling fatigue.
And then B, you probably there probably could have been matches you could have switched around and it would have evened it out a little bit, because we were on such a high at the end of night 1. So you're gonna, we had just going on the last two matches, we had just the Bad Bunny match, and then the women's championship match, which you can argue. Like I couldn't argue with you if you thought those two matches stole the whole WrestleMania. Like I couldn't even argue with you if you think that.
Right.
And you ended one of the nights with both of those matches.
Yep.
So it was kind of hard to, you had to have like a knockdown drag out main event to even like just to get us back into the into the action, if you will, for night two,
if you will.
Yep.
Yeah, and then so with going over to night two, I was like, I'm driving home. So I had a hockey game, as I do on Sundays. Driving home, trying to hurry up to get home for WrestleMania. And I see, in our text and stuff like that, I'm like, that Fiend and Orton is going to be the opener. I'm like, oh, hell yeah. Fucking started out with a banger. Let's go.
Right.
And then I'm not going to say it wasn't good because I enjoyed it. There's a lot to unpack with this match.
Right.
I liked it. I don't like Orton necessarily getting the win. We talked about it on this show where we thought Orton was going to take some time off after this, and this was a good time to put the Fiend, give the Fiend a WrestleMania win for Christ's sake.
Right.
I didn't really have any issues with. I get that it's WrestleMania, but I get with what they did. They were making you tune into Raw on Monday night to see what happens next, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Yes, they build all year for you to watch WrestleMania, but they got to keep that momentum going. They got to keep storylines going. Storylines don't just end at WrestleMania. That's why we have WrestleMania Backlash, which is a terrible name for a pay-per-view. But I'm like, Orton's moved on to the title picture here on Raw, and then Alexa Bliss is doing this. Now we're on to the next stage of what's going to happen with the Fiend. It's story building. It's story making. It's what happens. The story ends. The story, goes a different route or whatever. I have no problem with anything that happened in this match, except I hate the freaking red light when Bray Wyatt's in a match.
I don't like the red. Yeah, I know they're trying to do, it's like a horror movie kind of a thing. And it's like, okay, but I it's hurting my eyes. Like I can't even imagine being there live.
Forgive me if I've made this reference before on the pod, but it reminds me of the Kenny Rogers Roasters episode of Seinfeld, where the Kenny Rogers Roasters moves into Kramer next door to Kramer's apartment, and the red light is just shining in, and Kramer ends up going crazy because of it. Look that up on the Peacock, on the cock.
Yeah, it's on there. You got all the Seinfelds, but yeah, I thought, like you said, like, so the intro, even the match, like as the match was going, I was like, all right, I'm, besides the red light, but the actual action, I was like, okay, we're doing it. Like he gave a yell for Luke.
Yep. Oh, I loved that. Yeah. I meant to have that in my notes. I loved that.
Yep. It's like, he had to get something because this was like his first in-ring since, right?
Yep.
And then we had like Alexa turn into something here. Now I thought, so the way I would have written this is, okay, Randy hits the RKO, Fiend kicks out, of course. And then Randy kind of looks over there, and then we get a Sister Abigail, and then we get this stare off with like 1, 2, 3. Then we get this stare off with Fiend and whatever Alexa is. And then you see him kind of bow to, like, kind of takes a knee or something for her, like showing that she is like, has some kind of power over him, and then left it at that. Like, that's the way I would have done that. Randy doesn't need any more, especially mid-card wins. He doesn't need them. Right. The Fiend does.
Yeah, that was my thing. It's just like, why isn't Orton not jobbing, but why isn't the Fiend going over? Right. I didn't understand that. Did not understand that. I did love Orton in white gear. I think all of us were like,
white gear was dope.
Seen him in white gear.
Yeah, white gear was dope.
Yeah, it
He
looked
probably knew
really,
about the red light. He's like, you know what? I'm going to be in red light anyway. So
looked really good in the white gear. Yeah, so that was the opening match. Then it moved on to the women's tag team match. This is where I went and took a shower after hockey. If you don't play hockey or you never played hockey, there is nothing like the smell you smell after a hockey, like you smell after a hockey game, with all the gear and everything like that. So I needed to go take a quick shower. And Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax get the win. So everything to do with this match was pointless. Like this match,
you win this gauntlet, and
the gauntlet match is pointless. Like you can beat 4 other tag teams, but you can't beat these 2
after a night of rest. So it's not like you had it the same night.
Right. So just not into that match at all.
No, I think that was mainly to have the Tamina and Nia kind of
get their moment
and it not be a one-on-one match.
Mm-hmm. Then we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn with Logan Paul. Logan Paul did not look excited to be there, nor did the crowd look excited to have him there. It was just kind of like, okay, here's what we're doing. Where's my paycheck?
Right.
These two, like, it never gets old with these two. They're always going at it. Never gets old. Never gets old. Again, another banger. And then I think we all knew what was going to happen at the end with Kevin Owens and Logan Paul in the ring. Obviously, he gets stunned. But great
amount of cheers.
I love this version of Sami Zayn. I love this version of Sami
Zayn. Do too. I like the little dance he does to Logan Paul's theme music. And then again, even going with the 16-year-old I was watching this with, she was not impressed that Logan Paul was there. Like, no, like, what are we doing? Why is he here?
My son's watched some of Logan Paul's stuff on YouTube, like without us knowing, because I found out afterwards he's kind of a shithead. And he was like, "Oh, Logan Paul's there." And then a little bit afterwards, he's like, "Wait, why is Logan Paul there?" Like he didn't there was no reason, for him to be there.
Nope.
Next matchup was United States Championship match, Riddle and Sheamus. Just another kudos, by the way, to Riddle for rolling down that ramp on the scooter.
Barefoot. On one scoot.
Yeah.
With sandals.
This match was just a good wrestling match, in my opinion, and Sheamus Riddle got his teeth kicked out at the end.
I'm about to say he got one in the mouth. Yep.
Yeah. But other than that, not a whole lot to say, except Sheamus is your new USA champion or United States champion.
It's kind of funny that everyone talks about, is it safe that Riddle doesn't wear boots? And every injury that has been in Riddle matches has been like, in the mouth. Like he, like he kicked the hell out of Thatcher.
Yeah.
And then tonight, or on Sunday night, he got kicked in the mouth. So it's just like, I don't think his feet are what we need to worry about anymore.
Next match up was Nigerian drum fight for the Intercontinental title. Big E and Apollo Crews. Do you know they didn't use a single drum?
They did not.
In this match.
Yeah, that was the only thing I was disappointed with.
I saw somebody else tweet that like earlier this week, maybe yesterday, and I was like, wait, what? Yep. They didn't use a single drum?
It is true.
But they did beat the crap out of each other with some kendo sticks.
Yeah.
Pretty good match. And kudos to Apollo Crews. I'm still not used to Apollo Crews with this accent. I know it's his real accent. I know that's how he really talks, but it's just so weird to me.
Right.
Because we know him as, the no accent guy.
The big smile and the American accent.
Yeah, and then we got what was that guy's name? Dabakato coming out, but he's turned. They called him something else, and I don't have his name here.
Colonel something, maybe. I think.
Yeah, something like that. I don't have it. They don't have it up here, but
Kenny will get us.
Yeah, Kenny will tell us who it is. And then we got 2 matches left here. It was Asuka and Rhea Ripley for the women's Raw title match, and another, like, thank God they put the belt on Rhea for this one, because I think people would have rioted if they didn't, because she should have gotten it last year.
Right.
She should have got the win over Charlotte last year. Another just good wrestling match, good storytelling, good wrestling,
Right.
good overall. Anything to add to that?
I do, like, for novice fan, I think this is when the fatigue probably started to kick in, because you didn't have the emotional impact that you did for Sasha and Bianca.
That's a great point.
Yeah, and then you have people that are WWE fans and they do not watch NXT. So there is a faction of fans that was like, okay, who is this? You know, like, I only seen her at the last WrestleMania. Why is she here?
That's a really, really good point that I didn't think of.
Yeah, but so for us though, I thought they had a wonderful match.
I agree, 100%.
But now we're 7.5 hours of wrestling for the weekend. So
and that's not counting NXT or AEW or anything else from earlier on in the week. But
exactly.
So last match of the night of WrestleMania weekend, it was Edge, Roman, and Daniel Bryan.
Yeah.
Decent match, good match overall. I'm okay with the verdict. I know people. Man, the internet wrestling community, I love you guys. I love the people that listen to our show. But the internet wrestling community is so freaking toxic and so, like, guys, it's a show. It's entertainment. Sit back and enjoy it. Take it for what it is. If you don't enjoy it, don't watch it. Don't complain that Roman won the title and Edge should have won it, or Daniel Bryan should have won it, or, like, I've said it on our show before, where it's like every time I go into a pay-per-view with zero expectations, I enjoy it that much more than when I'm like, this guy should win this match, and this guy should do this, and this is what I have written down, and this is what I think should happen. This is my theory.
With your booking,
right? Like, I would have loved it if Edge won. I think it's awesome as Roman being this badass heel that he keeps the title and beat these two. Like, because literally now we're sitting here going, shit, man, who's going to beat Roman? Like, that's what you want in a heel.
That's what you want. And I don't like, he can go into a honky tonk man kind of a thing here.
Well, then I don't know how over he would be.
Well, what I mean is, like, honky tonk man used to win, like, everybody and their mom used to help him win matches, I get what you're saying.
I don't know, man. There's just a lot of complaining after this match, and I'm like, this is a good match. Like,
somebody help. Like, I've been, even when Roman was a heel, even when I was at WrestleMania 31, I'm not. It's over my head, like, the way people just all of a sudden turned on Roman. I don't get it. I really don't. I
think this version of him is the best version.
This is the way best version of Roman. Way best.
But yeah, so, like, when he was a heel before, Edge is like 43 ? Right.
So, and then you have Daniel Bryan that we
47. Edge is 47.
So he's almost 50, right? So you got Daniel Bryan, who we know, like, even in the storyline, that, like, this, like, it's getting close to the end for him. Why the heck, like, why would they put the title on them at WrestleMania? Like, if you're trying to build this Roman character that's supposed to be, let's just say it, like, he's supposed to be as badass as Brock Lesnar. Like, that's what we're doing here. Whoever you put Paul Heyman with, that's who is supposed to be the badass.
Right.
So what are we doing? Like, what, like, I don't, what is with all the, and in fact, like, so what's the ironic thing is that now you're not supposed to like him. So go ahead and boo. You're not supposed to like him. And, like, when another drama I'll bang on this show forever is you're not supposed to like the heels. Like, you're like, the other thing about the wrestling community I don't get is these people that, I don't like this guy. Why is he on TV? Like, dude, he's the heel. Like, you're not supposed to like him. Like, you're supposed to want to see him get his ass whooped. Like, that's what wrestling is. And so do that. Go ahead and boo him. And
Right.
And understand that it's part of the story. Like, he's the bad guy. He's the villain.
Yep. Bleacher Report actually has a really good point here
Mm-hmm.
with their little write-up here at the end. It says, Bryan or Edge would have been no more than a placeholder for the next champion. So why not ride it out with the most compelling character in the company? Boom. That's it right there. That's the line. Bryan and Edge, one more time for you basement dwellers. Bryan or Edge would have been no more than a placeholder for the next champion. So why not ride it out with the most compelling character in the company?
Look at the ratings. What wrestling show overall, over all of them, what wrestling show has the most ratings?
Is it SmackDown?
It is SmackDown.
That's crazy. I don't watch SmackDown ever.
And I think by a margin.
Damn.
So don't tell, like, it's just, and dude, he's right now, he's box office. He is, like, he's basically he is gotta be in your top 3 most compelling characters in the company, whether you like him or not. Sit back, relax, pop some popcorn, and watch the show.
And enjoy the show. Exactly. So that's our WrestleMania recap, DJ. Unless you got anything else to add, I feel like I'm cutting you off short here a couple times, but if you got anything else to add, do it. Otherwise, we'll jump into our predictions and see what's going on with our championship belt here.
I think they, just overall, like you were saying, they did a great, having to work with what they had to work with this pandemic. I think they did another good job.
Yeah, overall, I thought everything was great. It was nice to have fans back. I said a couple times, like, man, it's a lot of those fans are really close to each other, but that's not my problem. That's the problem of the people there. I'm going to sit back and enjoy it and watch it.
Right.
All right. So night 1, you got 5 right. I got 2 right. 5 out of 7 and 2 out of 7. And then night 2, you got 4 and I got 3. So the total is 9-5. The belt is coming back to you. I'll kiss it goodbye here for a little bit.
Where it belongs. Like I told you, WrestleMania is for where the home team, like the home team winning kind of a feel.
DJ's got his WrestleMania moment. I got to try to win this back at Backlash, but it's going out in the mail to you tomorrow, man.
Backlash.
It's going back in the mail to you tomorrow.
He tosses it back like it's. At first, he was, Shawn Michaels it, and then now he's just tossing it over his shoulder.
For the record, there's a recliner back there, just behind me. It landed in the recliner. Before we go any further, we got to let you guys hear a little word from our sponsor, our good friend Jack over at Figure Collections. You guys, how many figures do you have in your collection? 20, 50, 100? What about 43,000 figures? What? 43,000 figures. FigureCollections.com has a database of 43,000 action figures and toys, allowing you to search by character or series. You wonder how many freaking Undertaker figures there are? I'll give you a hint. It's over 300. You can see pictures of almost all of them by searching Undertaker in FigureCollections.com database. FigureCollections.com has been around since 2007, providing the best figure information, deals, and videos. You can get all the info over at FigureCollections.com. Check out the figure database today. It's FigureCollections.com. Woo! If you're watching the video, you saw me just slide back into the room after taking a quick pee during that break. DJ,
right on cue.
You don't really have to get with like full detail into Raw here because we got a lot of other stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But anything of no, I didn't watch all of Raw. I watched little bits and pieces of it here and there. I saw the Viking Raiders came back. Raw after WrestleMania, man, it was a little bit of a disappointment compared to what we're used to. Like even last year, last year we got Becky coming out that was
Money in the Bank.
But yeah, it just seemed like a letdown. Like I was looking forward to Raw, the Monday Night Raw after they make such a big deal out of it. Monday Night, it was like this cool thing that like just kind of happened organically.
Right.
And then
when people get their travel package, like they try to get the travel package where you get Monday Night Raw attached at the end.
Right. And then this year, it just kind of it was lame. Not lame. It's the wrong word, but it was just kind of like uneventful.
I think, yeah, because that's where I would have, if I'm writing this stuff, I know, and I'm pretty sure there'll be some people that'll agree with me. I'm kind of used to like a debut, on the WrestleMania or the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yep.
Or, like we got the Viking Raiders back. So I kind of popped a little bit because it's like, okay, that's what I'm looking for. Like some people coming, some fresh faces coming out on the ramp here. And then I guess speaking of fresh faces, I guess you can say Charlotte has another face. I mean, I'll say this, like I just don't think you should do plastic surgery on your face. Like I don't think it's perfected yet.
No, she looks like Barbara Streisand.
Yeah, and she might, like, and once people start doing that, then I better do this now, and I better do this now, and then then that's where you start to get that like pulled back, your skin being pulled back kind of look where you can't blink your eyes anymore. So I just, I don't think that the outfit she was wearing was flattering for her shape either.
No, if we're looking on our Instagram from the backside, I posted a thing today. From the backside, she looked like Matt Riddle because she didn't have shoes on. She's wearing like these short shorts, blonde hair. She's got no ass. So I like that. Like, so this is her best character. Like, I'll give her that. Like, this is her best. Like, when she's this type of a heel, this is her best character. Mm-hmm.
And I think her versus Rhea Ripley is compelling. But after that, like, I mean, we got to see Bray Wyatt, like the Funhouse Bray Wyatt, and him saying that he felt a little different. We saw Alexa's puppet, like whatever her puppet is.
What the fuck was that puppet's name?
And it had like the teeth around the mouth. Like that was the creepy part to me.
her new friend.
Her new friend. And so I'm guessing she has the fiend powers now, is what she, like, I guess. Like, I'd like to see her, I guess what I'd like to see at this point for Alexa is her in some women's matches. Like, let's see what happens. Like, let's see if her supernatural stuff helps her in matches. Yeah,
let's see her wrestle as this character. Like, she's only wrestled Orton, I think. So,
and that wasn't really, she just like had the lights drop down and Orton get knocked out and her straddle him for the pin. So we did get the new not new number one contender, but we got word that Drew McIntyre is the number one contender. He'll be taking on Bobby Lashley at the rematch
WrestleMania Backlash. We knew that was going to happen, though. We knew that was going to happen. So,
were they like the only question is, like, are they going to have, like, say MVP can't be at ringside or something? That's
right. There's going to be some kind of stipulation to make this all go down, but or I should say at the pay-per-view. But yeah, uneventful, like, just I mean, this probably would have been a decent episode of Raw for any other night, but the night after WrestleMania, no NXT debut, no, you know what I mean? It was just the Viking Raiders came back and that was it. And Alexa Bliss has a new doll. That was the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yes.
Is what I got out of it, because I didn't watch. Like I said, I didn't watch it.
That's pretty much it. That's pretty much what happened.
And we'll just run through the rest here real quick. NXT, the Tuesday debut of NXT. Karrion Kross, of course, comes out as champ. We got all the women's champions to come out because they're all NXT products right now.
Right.
It was obviously
Raquel
Gonzalez,
Bianca
and Rhea Ripley.
Yes.
All coming out. Cool moment, very cool moment. We got a new cruiserweight champion. My boy Kushida getting
I was surprised. That shocked me. That
was
shocked me.
I was gonna say this episode of NXT was like more eventful than Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. So
correct.
Which is weird, but pretty good episode of NXT. I'm excited that it's on Tuesdays now. Just kind of like less pressure to like watch right away and just like in the hustle bustle of everything.
And they got like 800 something in the 800,000 something in the rating. So
yep. I did not watch AEW though. And they hit the million
they hit the mill
viewers for it took NXT switching nights for AEW to hit 1 million viewers.
I'd like to see how we go. So now they're carrying the Wednesday ball all by themselves. This show, they're still got Tyson on the show,
right?
For a second night in a row. And you had the Bucks in the main event. So let's see how it goes when they get into those dog days where when you don't really have that many storylines to go and you're just kind of putting matches out there.
Right.
And no celebrities, and you're just reliant on people wanting to see your show just because it's on. So and I'm not saying they're going to fail. They might just be it might be 1 million every week.
Yep. Our boy Mike Lanham said they got to deliver on this next pay-per-view that they're doing on the 5th, the Cinco de Mayo.
I'm going to agree. This the exploding ring mat pay-per-view,
right?
It's I had high, as you guys listen to our show, we had high hopes for that pay-per-view. And it did not deliver like I thought it should have.
No.
And
we
so now
about that in great detail.
So it's now it's again Wednesday by yourself. It's time to get the fans that are not your hardcore AEW fans.
Right. It's your night. Do something with it. So, all right. That's it for our recaps. Let's get into the news. The big news is, let's get to the little news first. AEW hit 1 million. We talked about that. Vladimir, the famous fan from the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
Got an award right before WrestleMania. Now, I'm not crazy about this award idea because you're going to get guys who are I don't want to say names, but guys that just are annoying wrestling fans.
Right.
You see at every show, whatever, trying to win this award.
Right.
And to me, it's just we're all fans.
Like Bobby G and at this last WrestleMania.
Yeah. This guy is a staple of our childhood. You know what I mean? So he won the first officially certified WWE Superfan Award. And WWE, there's actually going to be a documentary about the story of Vladimir documentary.
There should be. I'm actually intrigued.
It's going to be on Peacock. It's going to be on the network. So I can't wait for that actually, because my thing is obviously I want to know what this guy did for a living. How did he end up at how did he end up at ringside all these shows? There wasn't StubHub out there. There wasn't TickPick. Nope. There wasn't this kind of stuff. Guys like Brock Lesnar guy, green shirt guy, all these other guys you see at ringside. Now they StubHub. It's a little easier to get tickets now. Right. I want to know what Vlad did, and Vlad was older. He's always in phenomenal shape too.
Yes, he is.
I want to definitely check out. I can't wait for this. There is a trailer out there for it on YouTube, so I can't wait to check out this documentary.
Right, because like you said, I've always wanted, what does this guy do? How does he get there? What does this guy do? And then he was just, what I liked about him, like you said, is that I feel he's more organic than some of the other people that you named. The green suit guys. That's okay, you obviously wore that so that the camera would look at you.
Right, you're doing this to be to try to be something. Where Vlad was just there.
He was just there, and he was just enjoying the show, and you couldn't. And he was kind of infectious. You would see him having a good time.
Right.
And then you felt okay, it's okay for me to I want to have a good time like he's having one.
Right.
Bobby G signed for the entire WrestleMania. If I were sitting behind him, dude, that you would have saw that sign for 3 matches.
That really made you mad. You kept talking about that.
We would have had some words.
Group chat.
We would have had words.
That's funny, man. That's funny.
Put that up one more time, and we are going to be on camera.
Did you take in Chris Jericho on the Broken Skull sessions yet?
Not yet. I have not.
Dude, that was the first thing Monday morning after WrestleMania. I'm like, I'm working. I'm popping that on right away.
Right.
And it was like the first thing I watched. It's like 2 hours, but it is so good. Very good.
I don't have no meetings tomorrow, so I think that'll be my work background.
I'm not I was a Jericho-holic back in the day.
Okay.
Like when he debuted, like I liked him in WCW, and then when he debuted in on Raw, like his debut on Raw is like one of my favorite wrestling moments ever. But like, as he's gotten older, as I've gotten older, I've kind of like soiled on him. Like I'm just, especially lately, like not to get political and stuff like that, but he said some stupid shit, and just his wife's done some stupid shit. So we'll just leave it at that.
And then double down. Like he doesn't really,
you
know, like people, I've seen people like calmly, like, very politely explaining to him, well, okay, this is why we're not liking what you're saying.
Yep.
And then he'll just double down on what he said originally. And it's just like, yeah, this ain't the time for the toxic masculinity here.
Yes, that's a great way to put it. His wrestling mind, though, like when you're listening to this, or watching this, his wrestling mind is unreal. Unreal. It's so good. Such a good listen. Highly, highly, highly recommend you guys checking that out. All right, and then the big news for this week was it happened today. WWE releasing all kinds of guys. Exactly 1 year after WWE releases more than 20 active wrestlers. It was a year to the day, by the way. Due to, quote, cost cutting during the COVID-19 pandemic, the company announced a list of wrestlers that they would cut ties with today. Biggest names include Samoa Joe, both of the Iconics, Mickie James, and Kalisto. It also included Mickie James, I said, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Kalisto, we mentioned, Wesley Blake, Bo Dallas, and Mojo Rawley. Those were all the guys released.
Like the last two were not a surprise for me.
It's more of a surprise that Bo Dallas was still under contract.
Correct.
To be honest with you, Mickie James is a little bit of a surprise to me, just because I felt like they would keep her around to like help with the new talent. And who knows, that might be something.
I'm about to say, yeah. I mean, we've seen it before where you'll see them get cut today, but then you see them sign like another kind of a deal,
right,
in another role. So
I think Mickie James goes to NWA with Nick Aldis. That's who she's married to. I think that's what we see happen there. I don't have predictions really for anybody else. Maybe Chelsea Green goes to Impact because that's where Matt Cardona is, who she's engaged to. Right. And then the Iconics, maybe they go to AEW because that's where Shawn Spears is, and Peyton Royce is obviously married. But who knows?
Right.
But let's get into these releases because people are not happy. But listen, guys, this internet wrestling community, I'm bashing the shit out of you guys tonight.
Here we go.
This happens every year after WrestleMania. People are acting like, oh, because of COVID last year. And they kind of put it, they kind of said that it was because of COVID or whatever. They do this every year.
It's
around
every
this
year.
Time.
It's like after WrestleMania cuts, it's a thing every year.
We don't like it probably has something to do with their fiscal year or something like that. Like if you think about it, WrestleMania is like their playoffs. It's their Stanley Cup. It's their Super Bowl. Like, so a new season starts the Monday after Monday night or the Monday after WrestleMania. Like that's the way it goes. That's the way their schedule works. They're also a huge corporate company.
Right.
There's gonna be releases, no matter what kind of deals they're signing, what kind of money they're making. My day job, I work for a Fortune 500 company, insurance company. They could make $1 billion in 1 year. They're still gonna make cuts because that's how they make that $1 billion. They have to make cuts in places. And people are like, oh, Vince McMahon makes this much. Shane McMahon makes this much. Triple H staff, they make this much. Yes, they are the fucking owners of the company.
That's kind of how it goes.
The CEO of my company that I work for makes probably 10 times, probably more than that, makes more like 15 times what I make.
Right.
in a year.
Right.
Of course he's going to let me go before he lets himself go. Like,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is, man. Like, I just got news the other day. I took the week off because my son's on vacation, and I got a text from a coworker saying, like, don't let the news ruin your week. And I was like, what news are you talking about? And there's rumors going around that my company is putting my department up for sale. And it's just like, I've been part of something like this before. Like, it's not, this is what happens in corporate America.
Right.
This is what happens. It's part of being in corporate America. WWE is a publicly traded company. They have to hit certain numbers to keep the shareholders happy and all this. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. Low hanging fruit.
Right. I mean, so a couple of things to add on there. Like, so,
I went on a tangent there.
No, and I expected you to, because you said you were feeling a certain way about the releases. I know, and the people's reactions to the releases.
I kind of stayed off Twitter after the news, but I made the mistake of going on the Major Brothers Patreon Facebook group, and that's where I got like triggered, because like these guys who they're like the people who are the people who are complaining about this don't have a lot of real life work experience, or they don't
exactly bam. I was just gonna say. I have my two things are I would love for, if you don't understand this stuff, try running your own business for just a year.
Yep.
A small business, like any kind, like just whatever it is. And you'll see, like even running your small business compared to this corporation, you'll see how this stuff goes. Like I've run a small business as a DJ, and there's stuff you start cutting. You're like, okay, this is working, this isn't working, and it's costing me money. I'm gonna cut that out, and and then that saved me money, and I'm making more.
Right.
Okay. Part two of this, like to kind of piggyback on what I just said. So besides the Iconics, like the Iconics are that was pretty much the cut where I was just like, ooh, that one kind of stung a little bit. When was the last time that the people that got cut, that you were just like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this wrestler, and they had the greatest match, and I'm going to go buy some merch for this wrestler?
Right.
When was the last time? So please stop coming to me like all of a sudden you care about Bo Dallas. Okay, when's the last Bo Dallas Elite that you went running out for?
Right. Samoa Joe was like that for me, where it was like, but here's the thing too, like we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Like I just said the thing about Mickie James. They could have offered Mickie James that, and she could have said, you know what, I'm all set with that. Release me. Correct. Or you know what I mean? Like we don't know. Like Tucker tweeted after this happened, freedom. Like that's what he tweeted. Like he wrote freedom, baby, with exclamation points. He probably wasn't happy with the way he's being booked. Kalisto, you're not going out and buying Kalisto merch tomorrow, or you weren't buying Kalisto merch a week ago. Wesley Blake, you weren't buying. You know what I mean? Like,
do you know who Wesley Blake is without looking at a picture?
I did not. And
that's what I'm, asking out into our universe here. Who knew who Wesley Blake was just right off top?
A couple weeks ago, I was like, where is Blake from the tag team that Alexa Bliss managed? And somebody had to tell me that he was on SmackDown as one of King Corbin's guys.
Exactly.
So there you go. They're a perfect example, man. Like these things happen. They're a sports entertainment company, but they're a sports like think about all the NFL players who get cut.
Right. And then you have Samoa Joe, and then speaking for, Samoa Joe, here's he kind of oft injured, even though one of the injuries we have, I'm going to have to kind of point out that he got injured during doing a commercial. So, and then he was kind of oft concussed as well.
Right. And surprisingly, Nia Jax never hurt him.
Yeah, right. And and then they're paying him in-ring talent money.
Right.
So again, he's one of those. It would not surprise me if they circled back around and said, hey, we'll kind of like with Barrett, like, hey, we'll pay you an announcer contract. not an in-ring talent contract. Because
I also think that they might have been like, "Hey, you're never gonna wrestle again," and he might have been like, "F you, I want to wrestle again."
Right.
And it could have been that. Like, that's what I mean. Like, you don't know the story behind these guys. You don't like think about how many guys have asked to be released in the last few years. Like, it could have been a situation with that where they were like, maybe Billy Kay got asked to be released. Maybe, same thing. The only one I wouldn't see getting released or like asking is Chelsea Green, because she's kind of new. She's on the SmackDown roster. Like, all these other guys, I mean, she got called up to SmackDown and then broke her hand.
Right.
So she's kind of had some shit luck when it comes to injuries as well. But she's going to go do big things. If she signed with AEW, man, she'd be like one of their best.
Right off top.
Right. One of the best female talents on AEW.
The WWE women's roster is loaded. Like, that's a tough, like you said, like for her to get hurt and then to have that amount of talent on the roster, that was just a tough situation to be in.
So, guys, relax. This happens all the time.
And now there's options. Like, now it's not like that's it. Like, you got to go wrestle in a high school gym now.
That's
like
you don't
have options now.
Yeah, that's a point I said to you off air before we started recording, is like, every single person who's been released from WWE in like the last year or so is fine.
Yeah.
They are not like struggling. They're not living, they're not poor. They're fine. I'm looking right now at comicbook.com. I was like looking at the art, like trying to pull up the list of names or whatever. They have an article that is from April 15th of 2021. Every WWE superstar released last April and where they are now. Miro, Rusev, AEW. Drake Maverick, back on NXT. EC3, he's doing his own thing within the independents. Zack Ryder, Matt Cardona, obviously blowing up with his podcast and doing things in Impact. Brian Myers, Kurt Hawkins. Brian Myers said in the Major Brothers group today, before all this started, him getting released is the biggest blessing in disguise of his life. Like, he's loving what they're doing with the podcast and stuff like that. Leo Rush, he's is he in MLW or is he in Impact right now? I know he's okay, is what I'm getting at.
I'm seeing him win all kinds of titles.
Yeah. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson, they're on Impact. They're doing their own thing as well. They're fine. Deanna Peraza, she is the Impact Women's Champion. Heath Slater got hurt when he went to Impact, but he'll be fine. Eric Young, back on Impact, fine. Tay Conti, she's only one of the best superstars in AEW.
Right.
Eric Rowan, he's not really doing anything.
He's trying, but he's not really.
Sarah Logan, pregnant. No Way Jose. Actually, I don't know what Jose.
Yeah, I haven't heard from him.
Oh, he's being a dad. His wife's pregnant.
Oh, there you go.
Mike Kanellis and Maria Kanellis. They are doing something. I just saw them. They signed with somebody. I forget who. Aiden English doing his own podcast. So, like, guys, they're fine. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. Everybody's gonna be fine. You know what? If my company sells my department, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to find another job. I'll be okay. Everything will be okay. Oh, man. Anyway, that's it for wrestling this week, guys. A little bit long in the wrestling, but it was WrestleMania week.
We knew that.
You guys knew that was going to happen. Let's have some fun now. Let's walk that toy aisle. Walk That Toy Aisle is brought to you by Stack of Cards. Go to stackofcards.com. Use the code RUN10 at checkout. Save yourself 10%. Brand new inventory every single Friday. Make sure you're following them on social media too, because they give stuff away. And they post what's going to be in the inventory on Friday. They post it early, but what's going to be available on Friday, they post early. So make sure you follow them. Big fans of the show.
Yes.
All right, let's get into it. Not a whole lot of news here. We'll probably fly through this, to be honest with you. But no real WWE news because they released all that news last week on at WrestleMania. So all those new, I can't wait for a lot of those. Right. I was actually I was going back and looking at a lot of these, man. I had some comments actually that I was gonna bring up. About the championship showdown packs. So like we're getting like Austin and Mankind, we're getting China and Trish Stratus, we're getting British Bulldog and Jeans and Big Boss Man, but then we're getting like Kofi and John Morrison, Matt Riddle and AJ Styles, and Seth Rollins and Drew McIntyre. So I'm like, I'm still trying to figure out, like, are these supposed to be for kids because they're basics, or like what is Mattel trying to do with these? I mean, we got the Giant and Ric Flair, which I bought obviously because I need a mom hair Flair. Like, yeah, it's just a weird lineup for me, in my opinion, just because I could see these being all current guys because they're for kids. But like, I mean, you got the network and stuff like that. But what kid is like, I need a British Bulldog and Jeans? Right.
Because most, like you said, like the majority of kids are going to be like, okay, who's the British Bulldog?
Yeah, exactly.
And why is he wearing jeans? So there is kind of a mixed message there. I agree with that. I guess they're trying to get, us old dogs to purchase these as well.
I'm probably gonna buy the British Bulldog one, to be honest with you. I'll probably buy that one, but
and they probably, like thinking we'll like the little title plates. But the kind of some curious roster picks there.
Yeah. All right, let's get into the actual news that happened this week. Right after we recorded, Royal Rumble elites that have been like MIA at Targets showed up on Amazon. Ultimate Warrior, Umaga, Stone Cold, and Titus. Hopefully you guys grabbed them because I'm pretty sure that they're gone. I grabbed Ultimate Warrior. Finally going to have that in my hand. It says April 15th. It's supposed to ship, which is actually... Wait a minute. That's today.
That's today.
What's going on here? Let me check my Amazon account. What is going on here?
Did your wife hiding a box from you?
Shit. No, it says arriving Monday.
Okay. So they pushed it back.
It must. Well, I think it ships today, or I don't know, available today or something, and then it'll ship and be available. I'll get it on Monday or whatever. But that's still like way better than the NXT or the fan takeover lineup. That it said it was going to be available like last week, and then now it says June 17th. So way better on that. So hopefully you guys got those. I don't think, like I said, I think Ultimate Warrior was like sold out. Yeah, currently unavailable. Titus, Umaga, yeah, they're all unavailable now. So everybody jumped on those as fast as they could. So sold out. I know Ringside has them. I might actually have to cancel my Ringside order if I'm kind of playing the gamble here to see like which one shows up first or which one ships first. So speaking of Ringside and Ultimate Warrior, the Ringside Ultimate Warrior WrestleMania 12 is shipping. Mine's on its way. You said you ordered that, right?
Yep, I got the same. They gave me my shipping notification
nice
on the shop app.
I can't wait. Cannot wait for that to show up. Zombie Sailor announced he's got Brooklyn Brawler as his next retro, man. He's killing it with this lineup.
Yes, he
killing it. I cannot wait. Like I said, man, I can't wait for Dino Bravo. I can't wait for the Earl Hebner. Bruiser Brody's coming.
Yeah,
he's got a great lineup coming. And then speaking of a great lineup, Cella Retros, they just signed Bull Nakano.
Yes.
She's going to be the first woman retro, like first woman in that style of figure. So that's pretty cool. That is very cool, actually.
I am a Bull Nakano fan.
Am I saying it wrong? Is it?
I think you're putting the wrong emphasis on the on the wrong syllable.
Oh, whatever.
I'm again. Kenny will knock us over the head. One of us is right.
That's right. One of us is right.
But that was one of my favorite wrestlers. As a kid, watching. She was just, like a bowling ball and and was doing all kinds of flips and everything. Like it was just crazy to watch her do what she did. I'm all for it. I think I'm gonna get one of these.
Also getting another figure, and I cannot remember. I thought it was a junk shop dog. Like he's redoing these this Poppy line, like the old school wrestling. Oh yeah, it is. So this Poppy line is like the first like wrestling figures ever. They talked about these a lot actually on the I almost said on the Run-In podcast, on the Major Brothers podcast. They're like these little rubber figures that resemble the guy. There was like a Hogan one. This guy Junk Shop Dog over in Australia has started to bring these back, and he did a Bruiser Brody one. It looks awesome. He got Bull Nagano and Terry Funk. So those are coming. So she's getting 2 figures. And I actually had this down in my news. Road Warriors are getting this style of figures.
Okay.
I might jump on the Road Warriors one, to be honest with you. He just showed like side-by-side ones. And they look amazing. Look him up on Instagram. It's just Junk Shop Dog. And his website is junkshopdog.com.
Yeah, I'm there now.
And the Road Warriors is like the 6th picture down if you're looking at his profile. So he's done a lot of different stuff. Like he did the Popies. He's done like regular looking figures. Like he's done a lot of cool stuff. So definitely check them out, man. He's got all kinds of awesome stuff. If you scroll down, if you're on his site right now, DJ, if you scroll down, or Sofubi is what they're called. Sorry. If you scroll probably like halfway down the page, you'll see the Bruiser Brody in the Sofubi style. So pretty cool stuff.
That silver one.
Yeah, definitely worth checking out his Instagram and definitely his website as well. Oh, Bruiser Brody's still available. If that's still available when Road Warriors are up, I might jump on those. Anyway, we also got today, actually, they showed WWE Shop showed a Edge crate.
Okay.
We've seen these before. They did like Piper, Macho Man, like a loot crate style thing. Comes with a shirt, a print, a belt buckle, the old school rated R superstar with the 2 women bent over the star, hat, some sunglasses, a little fake micro brawler, $55 if you're an Edge head. Mike Lanham tagged me in this like on Instagram or Facebook or something. And he was like, still no Ric Flair. I'm like, come on, man. I want a Ric Flair one. And we know it's coming. They've got it probably already made, sitting, waiting for them. But these are cool. These are cool little boxes and they're limited. So check out the Edge one on WWEshop.com. And then the only other wrestling news, man, was WWE 2K22 was teased.
Right.
A little preview during WrestleMania after the debacle that 20 was.
Right. They took a year off.
Yeah, they took a year off. So I'm kind of looking forward to see how good 2022 is, but I'm also still very timid to jump in full board on that one.
Well, I mean, you know how crazy we are. Like if they come up with some kind of good collector's edition, then that's going to be all systems go.
I already got my Ric Flair edition, so I don't. I think they already did Hogan. I'm trying to think of like who else.
They did an NXT one. Because I got the NXT one, I got the Flair one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else like I would jump in for. Maybe like Ultimate Warrior. Maybe like Macho. I don't know.
Macho would be interesting. Yeah.
I don't know who I'd go nuts for, but it'd be like one of those guys probably.
Yep. So Macho's a good call actually, because you can do a lot of stuff with a collector's edition with that.
Yep. So yeah, 20 was I bought 20 when it was like $20 in the PlayStation store, and it's just so bad. I think I've mentioned it on here before that I still play 19.
I still play, yeah. This is night with the AJ on the cover.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah,
and there's some
I'm still playing.
There's some big names missing from that. Like Hogan wasn't under contract yet. Mick Foley's not in that one. I'm just like,
you got to kind of go into the community and
yeah.
Which is cool. Like that's what I like about them. Like making they give you all of the ingredients you need to make these wrestlers that are missing. Like even the animations.
Yeah, or if you don't have it, or if they don't have it, you can make it, or you can upload it. Like some of the graphics and stuff. Like you can download AEW rings in there and stuff like that. So
right.
Yeah, it's good shit, pal. And that's it for wrestling news. Honest. Oh, one last thing. Sorry. The Vader Legends. The Vader Legends was found somewhere in Ohio in a Target. So keep your eyes peeled if you're at Target. I know when I pre-ordered these, when they announced them, Vader for some reason had a earlier shipping date than the others. Pulling up my order here now.
They're probably like, we gotta unload these.
So yeah, Vader. Shit, it doesn't tell me here. Oh yeah, it says Vader pre-ordered Wednesday, like estimated between Wednesday, April 28th and Monday, May 3rd. But then Beefcake from the same set says pre-ordered estimated Wednesday, July 7th through Monday, July 12th. So, and those are the only two I pre-ordered from that set. So it's weird. Like somebody, like I said, found Vader in the store. So who knows? Who knows with all this Target, Walmart stuff, these pre-orders and everything. I pre-ordered Castle Grayskull from He-Man, and it just got delayed till May. And I was like, you know what? I have absolutely no room for that.
I was about to say, where are you gonna put that?
I'm just gonna I just ended up canceling it. I'm kind of on the fence about all these He-Man figures that I bought. To be honest with you, like, what am I going? Like, why do I need these? I know I had them when I was a kid, and that's cool and everything. But man, I'm actually contemplating selling some of them. And that's it for wrestling news, guys. That's actually legitimately it. But NECA showing off more pictures of movie April O'Neil. I think I told you guys last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever that they are doing a documentary. They're filming the whole process of like making the figure and her reactions and stuff like that. So they keep teasing more and more stuff.
I like it
from that. I like it too. I like seeing how it all goes and checking out everything like with that. And it's going to be a great looking figure. NECA also did, if you're looking for turtle figures, if you're looking for I think it's just the cartoon figures. Some of them. NECA did 3 weeks of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pre-orders. Each Friday for the next few weeks, they're going to launch a new pre-order event for some great TMNT cartoon action figures on NECAstore.com. Each pre-order event will run for 10 days and feature some awesome surprises too. It's also open internationally. So Ultimate Pizza Monster, who I didn't actually remember. My buddy had to send me like the link of when I didn't order him, but he's available. He's brand new. Like I didn't even remember seeing like any teases about this or anything. He's available up there at the NECA store right now. You can get in on those. Also Rat King and Vernon, if you need them, available at the NECA store. Currently, these pre-orders are going to expire though pretty soon. So you got to jump on them. And then the Roadkill Rodney 3-pack, an infantryman, Triceraton infantryman, is available up there as well. So if you missed out and you need them, and now that I'm looking at Pizza Monster, I might need them.
Uh-oh.
Damn it. We'll see what happens. I do have all the other cartoons. We'll see.
They got you.
And then last bit of Nerdles Ninja Turtle news is that the Turtles in Disguise 4-pack
that might catch on, but go ahead.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle 4-pack of Turtles in Disguise is now showing up in Targets. I actually just missed it the other day. This is one where I'm like, I don't know if I need this set. It's like one of those things where like maybe if I see it when I'm at the store, I might grab it. I might go back and it's just a set. I don't
really need this.
Exactly. It's 4 more turtles. I'm really paying like the freaking $125 or whatever it is for the set. I'm paying for the masks and the coats. That's all I need. So I don't really need it. I don't need it. So
okay.
I'm saying right now, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it, guys. I'm not going to buy it. Real quick to circle back to wrestling here real quick. I just clicked on something actually by accident on WWE Shop, and it brought me to the action figure page. And if you're looking for action figures, stuff you can't find in stores, there is the Rock versus Stone Cold 2-pack of the Pops. These are all on WWE Shop. Edge and Macho Man Ultimate Editions. The WrestleMania Elites, which is Edge, Goldberg, and Chyna. Shawn Michaels isn't up there. WrestleMania Basics, which is Andrade, Ricochet, and Drew McIntyre. Becky Lynch, Elite 85. So there's Angel Garza, Elite 84. Rhea Ripley, Elite 84. There's some good figures on WWE Shop right now.
Yeah.
Lacey Evans, basic. So check that out. If you're Otis's pop, if you're looking for something that you haven't really had much luck finding, take a look on WWE Shop. You might you're going to pay a little bit more, but you're going to be able to get what you want.
Not too bad.
No, it's not too bad. $25 for an Elite instead of 20. The Ultimate Editions are 39 instead of 29. So sorry, didn't mean to get off track there. Just clicked on that and noticed that those were
in
up
the
there.
toy section. We're in the toy section. You're still appropriate.
And then Hasbro did their Hasbro Pulse Fest or Hasbro Fan Fest.
Mm-hmm.
Some new stuff just unveiled. To be honest with you, dude, I was texting with one of my buddies about this, and I thought it was very underwhelming. I didn't think there was anything where I was like, oh shit, we need that. Like, thank God we're getting that. The only thing that I was like excited about that I actually pre-ordered was the Sasha Banks Star Wars Mandalorian figure, which is now sold out on Hasbro Pulse and Amazon. I ended up grabbing it from Amazon. Casca Reeves is the figure, and her mask comes off, so it's actually like a scan of her.
Yep.
Yeah. So part of me is
I'm hunting. I want to hunt that one.
Yeah, part of me is like, I wish I grabbed 2 of these, like, so I could try to resell one,
right,
to get my money back for the one I'm buying, but sold out on Hasbro Pulse and on Amazon.
Wow.
So, if you guys think I'm wrong, by the way, about Hasbro Pulse being underwhelming, if there was something you saw that you thought was good, let me know. They announced some G.I. Joe classifieds, but it's from the movie Snake Eyes, which I don't really care about.
Because we haven't really seen, you're not going to be emotionally attached to those yet because we haven't seen the movie.
Yeah, but they turned Baroness into a Karen. Did you see her hair?
I'm like, so while we were doing this, I was looking at Entertainment Earth.
Yeah.
And they're on there, and I was like, wait, that's the Baroness? So yeah, that did hit me.
They turned her into a Karen, man. We are getting Fat Thor in figure form from Marvel Legends. But other than that, man, the Marvel Legends didn't really, nothing I'm like, oh my God, I need that. Nothing really like caught my eye.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. Like, again, me and you are a little bit the same where we're not really completionists. Like, we go for
grab what I like.
Yeah. What hit me? Like, what, it's like, oh man, I want that. I want to see that on my shelf, or, and if you didn't see any, if it didn't get you, it didn't get you. Like, that's their job.
And like I said, I've been like kind of like cutting back with the Marvel Legends as it is. So, there's like 1 or 2 that I'd be like on the fence about that like kind of intrigue me, but I'm good, man. Even Fat Thor, like I don't do MCU. I just do the comic book style, like comic book versions of guys. So
that Hot Toys Iron Man last week almost got you then, didn't it? Because that's almost like a comic book. That was like a comic book version.
Almost, man. I don't know if I can jump. I go back and forth all the time. I don't know if I can jump into the Hot Toys pool or not. But
you're jumping in. I'm gonna get
some Fortnite figures got unveiled at Hasbro Pulse. Yeah, whatever. I'm just looking through the foosh and seeing what they got for headlines here. Hasbro Pulse, man. Like, I keep getting emails. Hey, renew your account. And I'm at the point where like I'm not going to do it. I just got an email from them that 2 of the G.I. Joe classified series that I pre-ordered are like delayed till May, and like Entertainment Earth already sent them out. Mike Landham's found them at the GameStop he works at, or one of the GameStops that he works at. So it's just like, what's the point of paying this extra for Hasbro Pulse? I understand I get free shipping, but you're putting the same product on Amazon and I get free shipping there by having an Amazon Prime account. So it just kind of like, I'm all set, I think, with the Hasbro Pulse, like the pay account, getting the free shipping and stuff. None of the exclusives have been like, oh, I absolutely need that. It's just a weird situation, like the whole thing.
Well, especially since we're like, now we're getting more to being comfortable going back to the store.
Right.
Okay, and then I think we're starting to actually see figures back in stores as well. So that my Target, it's like a regular thing now to see the $1 Million Man line of elites,
Of the legends.
of the legends.
That's actually a good point you brought up. I went to Target yesterday. Tatanka was there. I haven't seen the whole set yet, like together. But then I went to a different Target today and saw Nikolai Volkov. So they're around.
I've seen the whole set. If I wanted to, a couple of times, I could have gotten one of the whole set if I wanted to.
Damn. Hopefully that's coming to Connecticut soon.
Yeah. Because one peg was just all Undertakers. I was just like, God dog.
Damn. That's crazy because that's a great Undertaker figure.
That's what I mean. So
that's wild.
Yeah.
But all right. That is it for toy news, I believe. Yeah, that's it. Did you have any weekly purchases, my man? Any weekly purchases?
So in my hunt, I did run into the as I've wanted, the pop of the 7-Eleven pop Stone Cold Steve Austin. And this store was this was the one, I'm going to be going to this 7-Eleven.
There's another one of these
a few times now, because they had a whole box of them. It was like a whole display of Stone Colds. And then there's and look on the other side of the shelf. And when you looked on the other side of the shelf, they had the whole rest of the line of those pops. They had China, McIntyre, and everybody that was in the line.
Eddie Guerrero?
That's a good question. I can because nobody's bought. They were so happy to see me. I hooked up the Fig Cave when I took a picture of it. Everybody started going, yeah, So, so I was so I was concentrated on Stone Cold, but I'm they were happy to see me because nobody was buying them. Because it is kind of a random 7-Eleven.
Mm-hmm.
But they were happy. There's yes. The manager was like, yes, we're moving them. So I'm gonna have to go. I think I should go back.
Mine's in the mail. I haven't gotten it yet, but it's in the mail. Can't wait. That was one I was on the fence about, and then you sent the picture. I was like, I'll take it.
Yeah. No, when you see it in person, it's different. It does hit. The shirt's good. The 2 titles are good.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm going after. I'm looking for my Vision.
That's right.
The Vision pop is my other target.
All right. Let's my weekly purchases, dude. I actually up until today, I was like, man, I have one thing for
purchases.
For one thing for weekly purchases. And it was a Starcade 1997 shirt from Stash Pages that I actually posted on our site because I bought more than one of them because I wasn't sure what size I needed. So I was like, all right, cool. I'll just buy 2 of them. And I actually sold it. I sold the medium because I'm not as skinny as I thought I was. But so I got that. And then Mike Lanham, good brother.
Mikey.
Man. So he posted up that he got some galoobs. And I'm like, that he had some galoobs for sale. And I'm like, man, I've never wanted to complete the galoob set, the WCW galoobs. But as I come across them, I've been grabbing them. Last week's weekly purchases, I got a Sid for $8. I'm like, all right, I'll grab that at the Toy Vault. I'm like, all right, I love that. I had that Sid figure as a character as a kid. I remember painting it and turning it into other guys in my Fig Fed. So Mike, long story short, Mike had Barry Windham, who I needed, who I grabbed.
Barry.
Friend of the show. We met him over in Albany, and then Brian Pillman, who I didn't have.
Yeah, and I like that figure.
This figure is a staple of my childhood, as is Barry Windham, because Barry Windham's the pose he's in,
the arm. Yeah,
you could do the clothesline, you can do all kinds of moves. You can hold your guy to slam him. You can do a suplex. You can do all kinds of moves with this Barry Windham figure. He was my champ. He was the champ of my Fig Fed for the longest time.
Oh, okay.
And then Mike Lanham also sent I got Mike Lanham is selling magazines. He's got a bunch of old WWF magazines. So I got the program,
the program,
WrestleMania 6 from him. And then I got this Ric Flair 1992 for
I remember that one.
Leading up to WrestleMania. And then he threw in, because he's a good brother, he threw in the program for WrestleMania 7, which is actually, I think he threw it in because it's falling apart. Exhibit A. So I think I might just frame the cover. I'm going to frame all of these. I want to have like a wall of magazine not a wall, but like a couple of magazine covers. And WrestleMania 6 is the first WrestleMania I remember watching. So that's like a lot. I have a lot of fond memories. It hits me in the nostalgia, that WrestleMania 6. So
yeah. Yep. 2 was the first one I saw live.
Because you're old as fuck.
Yeah, I was a kid.
All right, and that is it for Walk That Toy Aisle this week, guys. It's time now for Falls Count Anywhere. All right, guys, it's time for Falls Count Anywhere. By the way, I just want to throw this out there. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, and you're like, man, why do they pause after they say stuff? Like we're walking that toy aisle or Falls Count Anywhere? It's because I'm for the audio version. I throw the drop in right there, so I need to know where to throw the drop in. So I give myself I give us some silence. So I see a line and I drop it in. I don't drop it in for the video because it's a lot of work, to be honest with you.
We're a simulcast.
Not a lot of work, but it is time consuming. It's tedious. Anyway, Falls Count Anywhere is brought to you by Fig Tees, figtees.co.uk. Order some shirts for your figs and use the code RUN15 for 15% off over at figtees.co.uk.
Yes,
and then, so dude, I don't have a ton here, but that's okay because we're at an hour and 46 minutes already. I just want to shout out Julian Edelman, who retired from the New England Patriots today. Or not today, this week. Probably my favorite player, one of my favorite players ever as a New England Patriot, not named Tom Brady. Just played his ass off, took violent hits. Like he's a California guy. He grew up a 49ers fan, and I found out this week he took Jerry Rice's daughter to prom or something like that.
Yes.
Crazy. But sorry, go ahead, man.
He should have been I thought he should have been knocked out of that Atlanta Falcons game, but hey, the guy didn't know where his name at that.
And then he came back and made that catch though, where it was like literally an inch off the ground, half an inch off the ground.
Yeah, where it's all over the place. That was crazy.
And I love the audio of that, like on the mic'd up, where he's like, I caught it. And guys say that all the time. Like, they're trying to pursue the ref, but he legitimately caught it.
He did. He kept it off the ground. Like there was no question. Just,
I'm definitely gonna miss him on the field. So, crazy. This was talk on like Boston Sports Radio. It wasn't like that. People weren't like saying he should be, but like the debate obviously is there if he should be a Hall of Famer or not. Like if you look at his playoff catches, and touchdowns and stuff, like it's through the roof. And then just the fact that how like late he was drafted. He came in as a quarterback, became a wide receiver. Awesome on special teams there in the first few years of his career. Like
how many All Pro or Pro Bowl teams?
That I don't know, to be honest with you, off the top of my head. But
Zero. I can answer.
Oh, really?
It's zero. Yeah, zero. This is, you got to remember, he played like with Megatron and that corpse of that crop of wide receivers. Okay, and look how long it took. Like say Lynn, I see his numbers almost like Lynn Swan, where you didn't really hear from Lynn Swan until the playoffs, because they would run Franco most of the time. Yeah. And then Lynn Swan would come to the playoffs and make all these circus catches. Yeah. So, and it took him a long time to get to there are still, for us Raider fans, like Willie Brown is still waiting, and he was like a dominant receiver one of the dominant receivers in that era. So you're not even he's not even a dominant receiver in the era he played in. That's what the Hall of Fame is. Like, again, good player. He definitely did not suck. He was a very good player. But there was just such dominant guys that's you have to dominate to be in the Hall of Fame.
His playoff stats.
His playoff stats are great.
Insane.
Yeah, he's got like that game you're talking like I think the Atlanta Falcons game, I think he had 141 yards. I think he should have been actually the MVP of that game.
Yeah, 19 games played in the playoffs, 1,400 yards, 5 touchdowns. His average is 12.2 yards per catch. And don't forget, in 2014, he had that amazing pass to Danny Amendola in the in the game against the Ravens. So funny story about that. I'm DJing a wedding the night of that game. I literally had my iPad out and I had the game on my iPad, and I have a picture of and the bride and groom did not care. They were like, we're Pats fans too. Like, do what you need to do. Like, as long as your performance isn't, affected, like, we don't care. And then just part of that story is if the Patriots won, I had tickets to the AFC Championship game the next week. So I literally had a group of people around, not just men either, like Patriots fans, people crowded around an iPad watching the game.
That's hilarious.
And the place just erupted when Edelman did that pass. It was awesome. I'll never forget that.
It's like, hey, you did your job. Your job as a wedding DJ is to entertain the people, and that's right. Entertaining them
by any means necessary. I got my notification today that the show, MLB The Show, shipped for PlayStation 5. I'll be playing a lot of that.
Speaking of, like, as we're giving shout outs, today is Jackie Robinson Day.
That's right. Yep. I actually meant to bring that up earlier in the show. Thank you for pointing that out. I actually did mean to bring that up. Did you order the chase? Not the chase. Did you order the show?
I'm gonna go get it. Because I do want the steel case with Jackie Robinson on the cover.
Yep. I was going back and forth,
collector, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I was going back and forth, and I never pulled the trigger on it. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pre-order it from Target, and I'll just wait for it to show up in my mailbox. So that shipped the other day. I'm hoping I get it like a day or two early. That's always my hope with like a pre-order. You never want it late. I never want it to be like on its way and I can go get it in the store. You know what I mean?
I see that.
That's why I didn't order it from GameStop. It was like the prediction for when you could pay extra to get it the like release day, or not pay extra and get it like a week later. And I'm like, why would anybody do that? Why should I have to pay extra to get it early?
Right.
And then, or not early, get it on time. And then why would I not pay and get it late? Like, it just made no sense. So sorry, Mike Lanham. But we might have to switch. We might have to set up a Switch channel to have us all play on there, and you guys can play against us, and we'll have some fun with that. Maybe we'll see. Last thing. Oh, I wanted to talk about this real quick, but we're running. I posted on Instagram. Let's give our answers here real quick. You probably saw this.
I didn't.
I posted on our Instagram.
I probably did. Maybe I did.
It was 4 cartoon characters. It says these 4 are about to fight. Who you got as a winner? Right. And it's Mr. Garrison from South Park, Ned Flanders, some dude from Pickle Rick, or not Pickle Rick, Rick and Morty. I've never watched Rick and Morty, so I can't tell you
Tommy.
If Jerry, I guess is his name, would win.
Right. He would not, but yeah.
And Dale from King of the Hill, which King of the Hill, man, is so underrated. So a lot of people on our Instagram picked, let's see, a lot of people picked Flanders. A few people picked Jerry. Q-Stown Collector, he goes, Dale talks a big game, but he's a major coward. I got to go Flanders. Right. I said Dale is 100% all talk.
Yes.
My pick would be Ned Flanders or Mr. Garrison, because Ned Flanders probably has a lot of shit built up that he just wants to high diddly ho let go.
Yeah. I'm gonna kick your diddly ass.
That might be I might just put that. Well, we don't do our episodes like that. I was gonna say if we just had names of episodes, Hi Diddly Ho, Let's Go would be the name of the episode. But Mr. Garrison is a psycho. Like I feel like he would go nuts on somebody.
He probably would. But man, Ned is just so yoked, though, is the reason why I think most people are picking him. Like he rips that shirt off.
That's true.
And then stupid, sexy Flanders. He's got that. He's got that the look as they say in wrestling.
I have a badass pin. I forgot who I got it from. I was into collecting pins for a little while. Still am like here and there if I see a good one. But it's Ned Flanders' face on Ravishing Rick Rude's body.
Oh, okay.
And
that actually works.
And his wife, his wife, I can't think of her name off the top of my head. His wife is on the tights. Maud Flanders is on the tights. It's pretty good pin. I'll post it on our Instagram.
Yeah, I'm a Simpsons guy. Like that's especially like the first few years, like the first I guess under 20 years.
Yeah.
Like after 20 years they kind of jumped the shark. But
that was one of the funnest things about Disney Plus when we first got it is my son got into The Simpsons.
Yep.
And we watched it a lot. I love The Simpsons. Simpsons is one of my top 5 favorite shows.
Hi, kid.
Wow. That is a very good Krusty Clown.
Yeah.
Krusty the Clown. All right. Last segment for tonight is what you watching, DJ? What you watching, man?
I got into Invincible on Prime. They if you are into anime and you're into like superhero kind of stories, and this is it's definitely TVMA.
Mm-hmm.
This is a damn good show. Like I was very impressed. I just kind of like they how when you go on Prime, like they'll push a show on you every time you click on their app, right? So you're just like, all right, let me watch this, right? They keep putting it in my face. I was like, oh, this is good. Like this is and I'm pretty sure most people that have read the comic or the graphic novel are not surprised. Because it is a graphic novel.
Yep.
So yeah, no, I am going to put my stamp on it. I think you ought to watch it. And it's one of those that it's kind of like Winter Soldier and the Falcon, where they give you a new episode every week.
Nice. I'm so far behind on Winter Soldier, and I heard it's getting really good.
Yeah,
I gotta jump in there. I gotta stop being a jackass and make it happen.
Exactly.
I'm not really watching anything at the moment, or I haven't really watched anything at the moment.
Busy week.
Yeah, exactly. But I did download for the Switch. On my kid's Switch, I downloaded Wrestlemania and I started playing it last night.
What you think?
I dig it. I can't wait for it to. I'm not a huge fan of the Switch.
Mm-hmm.
Just it's like the controls are weird to me. I just called you old, but I definitely feel old playing it.
It does, like their control does cramp my hands. I
played it for a little bit. I enjoyed every minute of playing it. I'm ready for it to come out on PlayStation so that I can get it for that. And then I'll play it. I'll play it a lot more once it's on PlayStation. But yeah, I dug it, man. If you haven't gotten it yet and you have a Switch, definitely grab it. I think it's only like $25 in the Switch store. All right. I forget what I paid. I didn't use we had a couple codes, gave them away. Exactly.
I'm using my PlayStation code. I'm sorry. Sorry, let's
say same here. But I paid for the Switch version. I told my kid I would buy it for him when it dropped. So got it for him, and he hasn't played it yet. I played it last night. He said he was gonna start playing it next tomorrow. But definitely check it out. Definitely get it. Help support our friends over at Wrestlemania.
Yeah, they're really good people.
Very good people. All right, guys, it's time to wrap things up here. We got our shout outs. You guys know to hit up the Fig Cave podcast with our boy Phil Gentile. He's got a couple of good episodes out now. You got to hit up his Collar and Elbow deal too. Collar and Elbow has some of the coolest T-shirts you will ever see for wrestling. Yes, you can use the code CAVE for 10% off. I still got to jump on there and grab one for myself. Figure collections, of course, figurecollections.com. Virtual Suplex, Extra Cooler. Of course, our boy Kenny over at the Call Up, WrestleGeddon podcast, Coming Down the Aisle podcast. Woo. Our Turnbuckle Tavern.
All these friends.
That's right. Buy, sell, trade toys. Keystone Collectibles. You can use the code RUN10 over there for 10% off. Heroes Hideout. You can use the code RUN_IN for 10% off there. Other than that, though, I don't think we have any other shout outs. I don't think I forgot anybody. I hope I didn't. If I did, let me know. We'll get you next week. Don't forget, Pro Wrestling Tees having a 20% off sale until Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. Grab a t-shirt, please. Please grab a t-shirt.
Support the pod. Support us.
Help us out. That's one of the best ways you can support us. Like I said, we got the new retro arcade ones up there. We got the Lake Show. We got the Beantown ones. Check it out. If you order one during the sale, let me know. Shoot us a message on Instagram or Twitter or Instagram. And I think I just said Instagram twice. And I will, I'll send you a sticker. Sticker. And maybe even you'll get lucky and send a magnet in there as well. So yeah, let me know. Let me know if you order a t-shirt over at prowrestlingtees.com/runinpod. Subscribe over at YouTube, youtube.com/the Run-In Podcast. And of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Run-In Podcast. Instagram is at the Run-In Pod. My Twitter and Instagram are at Tommy Paradise. It's PAIRODICE. You can tweet me if you agree that Tamina looked like a pot roast with the string attached to it.
Doubling down.
DJ, what's your info?
Well, I had this name way before LA Night. It is Fig Night, FIGKNIGHT 27 on both Twitter and the Gram.
All right, guys. This has been an episode of the Run-In Podcast, episode number 45 in the books. Thank you guys so much for listening. We will talk to you next week. Good night.